Welcome back to the county seat. We've been discussing emergency management here with our guests from Salt Lake County, Tooele County, and from the state. Mike, let's just throw this out here. If you can't count on government, and it's not any fault of the government, it's in a major disaster, what is the mindset you have to survive a disaster?
I think step one is taking ownership of the situation, believing that you are at risk or in a window of vulnerability, and that you are responsible for yourself and your family and your neighborhood. And once you take ownership of that, then there are a lot of avenues you can pursue. There's training that you can get, and I think Jeff has a good understanding of the community emergency response team. I know they're very active out in Tooele, family and individual preparedness. And then it's always important to have folks understand that sometimes warnings are inaccurate, but we take them seriously. Whether it's a weather-related warning for a severe winter storm or fire warning, earthquake preparedness, we need to take those seriously. A good level, common sense, level-headed approach is best. Okay, well let's talk about training, because when Mike said that to me, Jeff, my first response was, okay, I can take ownership of a disaster, but am I going to be like a deer in the headlights? What do I do? How do you prepare? What is CERT?
Well, CERT is a community-type training. The fire departments are generally the component that provides the training. And what it does is it gives individuals, citizens, regular citizens, the opportunity to get some basic first responder kinds of training so that they know how to respond to this kind of a disaster. It teaches them how to sling a broken limb. It teaches how to put a bandage around a wound, how to make some determinations as to who needs care immediately and who can wait, and basically create an assessment of their situation. It provides them the ability to do some light search and rescue, get a piece of debris off of an individual and be able to rescue them and get them to safety. And so when that event hits, if you've had the opportunity to get some training, exercise that training, you're going to be much better prepared. You're going to be more second nature to be able to deal with the problem, opposed to allowing panic to set in and then not being able to get any help to anybody and being frankly useless to the emergency.
Okay, Wade, in Tooele County, I understand that you guys are fairly active in CERT. How early of an age should people start that training?
Well, there's a program called Teen CERT. We haven't utilized that in Tooele County yet, but adults 18 and above, we invite to participate in the program. And the whole idea behind that is we use the term first responder, in talking about our police and fire and ambulance. But in my opinion, the first responder is the person on scene, the victim, if they're even conscious or able to do something about it, witnesses to an accident or an emergency. They're the true first responders. And it's important, like Jeff says, that they have some skills, even just the wherewithal to pick up the phone and call 911 in a daily situation. But overall, it's the public's responsibility to be prepared for emergencies and disasters. And the more the public is prepared, the further our government resources will reach in a disaster.
How do you assess and respond to people that are disabled or have special challenges and can't take care of themselves? We have about a minute for that.
Yeah, these vulnerable populations, we call them, really has become one of the battle cries of modern emergency management. First of all, we have to identify who they are and where they are and what their needs are in the event of a disaster. If they are not able to hear, how do we provide a warning to them? If they have mobility issues, how do we do that? A lot of it boils down to local government, neighbors and friends looking after one another. That's the foundation upon which everything else is built. The Community Emergency Response Team, I just want to add one of the really neat things about that training. It's hands-on. It's not sitting in a classroom. You actually have a fire in the fire pan. You use the fire extinguisher to put it out. You actually do the bandaging, do the very light search and rescue. It's good stuff.
Excellent.
It comes down to having family plans and including everybody in the plan. you know, your special needs neighbors, your relatives, and having an overall family and individual disaster plan in place.
Great. Let's talk about that more when we come back. We'll wrap this up. It's been a great conversation. We'll be back with the county seat in just a minute. Thank you.
So, what brings you to town?
What brings anyone to St. George? A couple rounds of golf, a little relaxation.
What, is that all?
Is there more? In a retirement community? Should have stuck with the back nine.
The State of Utah School and Institutional Trust Lands Administration. SITLA manages 3.5 million acres of Utah lands with the express purpose of furthering the education of Utah students while promoting local industry, oil and gas, even residential development, all at the same time. Through the careful use of trust lands, we distributed more than $22 million to Utah schools last year. The State of Utah School and Institutional Trust Lands Administration, building the state's permanent school fund.
It's time you got off the beaten path. It's time you discovered something new. It's time you explored Kane County, Utah. Thousands of miles of trails, shorelines that go on forever, a horizon that compels you forward. Spend some time in Kane County and visit the past, present, and future. Kane County, Utah. It'll be time well spent.
Almost 45% of the oil produced in Utah, 7.8 million barrels, comes from Duchesne County. That oil feeds our state economy, provides job growth, and supports local business. Here in Duchesne County, we're working to make Utah an economic, cultural, and technological leader. Whether you're here for business or pleasure, Duchesne County will welcome you with open arms and invite you to explore all the beauty of the Uinta Mountains. Duchesne County, close enough for business, far enough to get away.